So Doctors for Refugees, we're a group of doctors based in Australia, and what we do is we review the medical records of people held in immigration detention. And this is a really important way for us to connect with the tenets that we swore to uphold when we became doctors, that we will care for everyone regardless of race, religion, gender, sexuality, political affiliation, and now visa status. A lot of people have asked, do you examine the people yourself? Do you go to Manus? Do you go to Nauru? And for the overwhelming most part, we don't examine the people ourselves, but a handful of people we've seen personally in the detention centres or online. Not a lot. Not a lot. We'd like to, but not a lot. I mean, when telehealth first really started taking off a lot more, was probably the last 3 or 4 years. Obviously, since COVID, it's been a lot more, but it's been the last 3 or 4 years where it's been utilised a lot in the country, in rural areas. You know, we could do that, but the problem with that is then we then find ourselves in the position of being a treating doctor. So we're a group of medical practitioners who review medical records, and obviously we have an element of advocacy as well, but we're not treating doctors. Well, people are first of all going to have the same sort of health conditions as people who are not asylum seekers and not refugees and not living in detention. Added to that, you're going to have people who have experienced, say, torture and trauma. Then you have things that happened on the voyage to Australia, to Australia. So very often, assuming those individuals didn't drown, those journeys are perilous. They're fraught with disease, with attacks. People are constantly sick. There's usually one toilet for like 300 people, and that toilet gets overflowed very quickly. So dysentery, diarrhea, typhoid, all of those things arrive. Plus there's something called, boat sores. So it's from people who've been sitting in the same clothes for 2 or 3 weeks, with the sea and the salt and the sand and everything else rubbing, and the sun rubbing against them constantly. They end up getting these excoriated wounds. There are parasitic infections, things like schistosomiasis. What else is there? There's dysentery, diarrhea, the usual stuff. There are also attacks. I would love that. Our website is doctorsforrefugees.org, and that's the number 4. refugees.org. We don't just need doctors, we desperately need other skills, like IT would be fantastic.